Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Deep Thought. It's a show where we take a look at some video games and think about them in a more critical and provocative manner than the average person would, or at least your average Let's Player. Today, we are going to be going through 999. It's a DS game released in 2010 in America by Chunsoft and Axis Games, and here to help me comment it is a person I am eternally grateful for. He is a avid speedrunner and a member of the inspiration behind this show, Hellfire Comms. Please welcome MexiricanBassMonkey.
So, wait, let's go back. You said more than the average Let's Player, so why did I get invited?
Because you are a good commentator. That's a big priority. And you like this series as well.
That I do. Yes, please tell me more about myself and how great I am.
Okay, well, let's see.
Right.
Okay. Well, we're gonna start this off by how we're gonna pretty much do every beginning of all the playthroughs that we do on this new show. So, without further ado, let's do this. Hey, Mexi. Tell us about the first time you ever played this game, or how you came to play this game.
Okay, so I actually have a weird introduction to it. I didn't just jump into 999 or the first of the Zero Escape games. I actually got into them through a Matthew Matosis review, which, great reviews, really good thought. You should probably get him on this show later on.
I'll consider it, definitely.
But he had his review for BioShock Infinite, and he mentioned that the game involves essentially quantum mechanics in separate realities. And I've dabbled, and by dabbled I mean I've read a Wikipedia page or two on quantum mechanics and on how those sort of rules work out. And I'm always interested in seeing those in video games. So when he in that review, he mentioned that BioShock Infinite didn't do a good job with quantum mechanics, and instead talked about a game called Virtue's Last Reward and how much more better that mechanic was implemented. So I was intrigued by Virtue's Last Reward. I looked it up, saw that it was a sequel to a game, and I had briefly heard of 999. I had known that, it's sort of a horror-y graphic novel, and I'm not too big into graphic novels. I mean, I love graphic novels. The only problem is I have a real hard time just sitting down and getting them done. So once I get hooked, yeah, I love them. I'll go on and on about them. I'll do Let's Plays on them. But, it's sort of hard for me to pick up graphic novel games. So, being intrigued by Virtue's Last Reward, I went to Game Store. We'll just call it Game Store Generic A. And luckily enough, they had 999 and Virtue's Last Reward, so I bought both of the games simultaneously.
What a bargain.
I know, dude. It's so good. Every time I find a copy of 999 or The World Ends With You at a GameStop, I'm happy. I don't buy them, but I'm just happy to know that, some random nerd out there might find these. And I played 999, loved it. And I immediately went into Virtue's Last Reward, same day, switched the cartridge out. So I got the whole, what is now currently released, No Escape experience, all in one huge, marathon chunk.
Quite an interesting experience, I must say.
Yeah, from a BioShock review, I got into 999.
Okay, well, mine is a little more, I guess you could say, generic, possibly. Before 999, I was a big fan of the Phoenix Wright games, and that was about as much visual novel experience as I had. And, well, unlike a lot of people, I am quite enthralled with reading in a video game, and especially with visual novels. So I can go, if I had the opportunity, I could probably play the original Phoenix Wright game all in one go because I really like that stuff. So I was a sophomore in high school, and it was around Christmas time, and I'm here I am thinking, gee, what should I put down on my Christmas list? What games do I have not played yet that I should be playing? So I don't know how I came to this conclusion, but I think it's just like, hey, I like Phoenix Wright, and this game looks pretty interesting, so I'm just gonna put it down. And I pretty much put it down as an afterthought because it's an M-rated game, and my parents are the kind of people who are not too keen on me playing M-rated games while I'm 15 or not as of the right age. So Christmas time rolls around. We're opening presents. It's a wonderful time. Then I get some present. I open it up, and there it is. Lo and behold, 999. And then I looked up at my mother, and literally she said, "As long as I can't hear it, everything's gonna be fine." And which is funny considering that there's absolutely no voice acting in this game, so you can't hear anyone going, "Ah, fuck, shit, goddamn, freaking asshole, bitch, So, I think I spent the next month or two playing 999, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And it's quite a great game, I should say. Very good game.
Yeah, it kind of catches you off guard. Like, I had only known that it was a horror game. Like, I didn't even know so much about what more this game has to offer, because it is pretty difficult to, like, pitch this game. Like, even to a friend, when you try to explain what 999 is, like, you tell them that for the most part, you're playing escape the room puzzles, which Newgrounds has pretty much destroyed that entire genre of gameplay, and it's really hard to get anyone to play those, but it's totally different. And then adding the graphic novel aspect to it, I mean, most people, they want interaction in their games. Like, there's totally interaction, bro. But yeah, as you said, I tend to usually lead off with, "You liked Phoenix Wright, right? Professor Layton," one of those. I know those are the two big, super popular ones. If you got into those, okay. Now, how would you like a more mature experience with those types of games?
And I'm definitely glad that I played it, because, again, very good game. Love it. And the series itself is one of my favorite game series of all time.
It's a bit too hit and miss for me, to be honest. Like, it's one that I will talk positively about, but it's one that I can definitely find a lot of flaws in, which that goes with everything. But for me, it's like some of the flaws as the series stands. Like, I'm gonna have to wait for it to be completed before I can give, like, the final answer on, yes, this ranks above this, but below this. But as it stands, the series is a bit too incomplete for me to, like, rank it but, like, each individual game I love.
We have to wait for the third one in order for you to rank it.
Yeah, the third one got announced.
Yeah.
On the day of this recording!
Yeah.
You planned this, you crafty bastard, didn't you?
I don't think I did. I did record myself reacting to the quote-unquote stream, because while there was, like, a live tweets about everything that was happening, like, the Twitch stream that was supposed to happen actually didn't happen. And the funny thing is, I think it's going on right now, like 2 hours after it happened. So
wow, so what kind of fans are we that we don't even watch the official stream? We're too busy recording Let's Plays.
So let's get back on track a little bit. Let's talk about what's actually happening on screen. So, you are playing as a person named Junpei, and you woke up on a ship, and you have absolutely no idea as to where you are. As you can see, there's the window just cracked open, and there's water flowing into the room, and now you have to escape it.
Yep, pretty typical Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm, yep.
I will admit, though, that the first time I played this, once again, my only knowledge of the game prior was horror. So I was like, oh shit, it's timed, isn't it? I gotta figure this out. I thought it was gonna be legit timed, but don't worry, it's just trying to build an artificial tension to it. You can take as much time as you need to solve this puzzle, but I'll admit the game sets itself quite well to make you assume that you're gonna be timed to solve this puzzle. But, like I said, the very first puzzle is, right off the bat, very literally, escape the room. Other ones are more just, well, we kinda gotta get to the other side of the room, but this one is literally you're trapped and need to escape.
And I've read reviews about how they compare it to the escape the room sequences that, like the ones on Newgrounds you mentioned earlier, and other ones, I suppose. And one thing that kept popping out at me was the fact that all the items in the puzzle rooms have some use, have a use of some sort. However small, however big, if there's an item in there that you can pick up and use, it's useful. It's definitely useful.
It's going to be part of the puzzle. They did work really well on that aspect, because that can be a problem with escape the rooms, where you want to throw a lot of curveballs, or you want to make your puzzles so complicated that items that, even if they do have a use, seem useless. Like, they're only part of one step. But like with this puzzle, you're going to see that we're going to be using items a number of different ways, or at least more than once. And that's a sign of a really good puzzle. It's really cohesive in how this stuff gets solved.
Yeah, I can't understand why like escape the room sequences have not kind of followed these kind of mechanics, because to me it just seems like the only thing that actually works. Like, I'll admit I have yet to play any actual escape the room puzzle games except for 999, obviously, but like, for me, I think that would just be a little too frustrating and obtuse, because I like a good obtuse puzzle here and again, but if it really, 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 really frustrates me, then I'm just going to completely drop it.
Well, the big problem is that a lot of those Newground puzzles are made by people who have no background in game design, and in fact, it's pure amateurism. I mean, I know I'm saying that in a really dickish way, but it's true. You have people making puzzles that have no background or no knowledge of what makes a good puzzle. They're just trying to throw a Newgrounds Flash game on the internet and get hits. And so, but as a result, a bunch of amateurs have soiled a genre professionally.
So as you can see, there was a suitcase there. There's another suitcase in the room somewhere. I think it's behind, not those curtains, but the other curtains. In those suitcases are, spoiler alert, the keys to get out of the room. And as you can see right here, we are entering another novel sequence, which is something that these puzzle sequences in 999 tend to do, specifically 999. Like, in all the puzzle rooms, there is a in-game novel sequence of some sort. And this one right here explains how Junpei explains what happened, what Junpei remembers before he got trapped on the ship, or before he woke up, I should say.
What it should be explaining is why Junpei looks so fucked up in the mirror. Like, he looks like he crashed hardcore the night before, but I guess waking up on a ship or whatever. Junpei doesn't know, but the previous cutscene is supposed to give you the knowledge that he's on a ship. Water's leaking in.
Should probably do something about that. Yeah. So he has he's pretty much your typical college kid. He's got a one-room apartment, $630 a month. For a one-room apartment, I'm not sure if that's feasible unless he's living in, like, I don't know, California, LA. He's going to college there. UCLA, is he going there?
I want to say that's like, well, it's probably just how high apartments are in Japan, but as we'll see, this game gets pretty ambiguous onto its actual geographical location, or at the very least, the characters are going to be from more than one location. A lot of people will allude to being American, some will allude to being more Japanese, but it's not very hardcore, and it's also not due to fumble censorship. Like, there's no rice balls translated into jelly donuts. Everyone just actually has varied backgrounds. And it actually surprised me that Junpei is a college student, because playing this game, and I guess because of watching anime, I assumed that he was like a high schooler at most. I was completely thrown off when I saw the fact that he is 21 years old, because that's so weird to see anyone that age as the protagonist of a very anime-ish game.
Yeah, subverting the normal tropes, I suppose.
Something this game does? Question mark? Maybe? Who knows? You'll have to keep watching more episodes.
Indeed you will. And as you can see, there's a mysterious person who literally climbed through the window, broke into his apartment, hid somewhere. I'm going to assume there's a closet in there, and is now going to use this mysterious gas to knock Junpei out and transport him to the ship. And that's pretty much what happens.
That's all he fucking remembers, and that's all you really need to know.
Yeah. I gotta say, pretty good setup. It was a very good setup. Like, it was enough for me to get going. Like, okay, I've been kidnapped. I should probably leave.
And not only that, but the masked man does, or the masked person hints that he's been chosen. This wasn't just a random attack. He wasn't picked out at random. He was chosen by the masked person to participate in what is referred to as a game. And also, just the whole distorted voice. We need to keep this character's identity very secretive for the whole game.
Yeah, even though you can't really tell the difference between one person talking and another person talking in this game.
Yeah, they don't even do anything about that. I know that some games that are all text-based will sort of, like, they'll change text color. But with this game, it is very much like an actual novel, where you will get the quotation with, at least in these sections, you'll get the quotation with said whoever. But other sequences in the game, like on the top screen, you'll get the speaker's name in the box above. The game is pretty good in organizing its dialogue. Like, I don't think I can recall a moment where I was confused on who was speaking, and if I was, it was because they were all talking at the same time.
I always thought it was really cool how on the bottom screen it was basically like as if you're actually reading an actual book, because it was in the third person, which is something I haven't seen in a lot of games, actually. This is kind of rare seeing that kind of these kind of descriptions in the third person, at least in the style of, I would say, visual novels.
Yeah, you'll notice too that you have to really pay attention, but some of the dialogue is from Junpei's first person. I mean, you're getting a first person view. A lot of these puzzle games are with that first person perspective, but you'll notice that occasionally you will see text referring to all these actions in the third person. Instead of I opened the door, Junpei opened the door. Anytime you see Junpei's name, you gotta keep your eye out for those switches between the first and third person. That's actually really important, and it's one of the more clever things about this game.
I gotta give a shout out to the ladder joke that the wonderful translators at Axis put into the game. It's terrible, but it's supposed to be, and that's what makes it so funny.
Is it supposed to be referencing the step ladder jokes in Phoenix Wright games?
I'm not sure. It's like, I read in an interview that it was like, in the original Japanese version, if you hit the ladder, like, apparently the Japanese word for ladder is like, a play on word for bar hopping, I think. And so, they had trouble translating that into the American version, so they just basically made a bunch of terrible ladder jokes. And like, regardless, I still think they're hilarious.
That's lovely. One part of these sections... I'm sorry.
No, you can keep going. Sorry.
So, when I played this game, I hadn't played a lot of graphic novels, or I had a really huge break. I think the last one I had played before I played this was Justice for All. And, yeah, I'm still trying to get through Trials and Tribulations right now. But in the sections where you have to actually explore the room, it can get a bit confusing on what is selectable. And more importantly, there's some areas where when you select an object, your Junpei moves. Like, you'll notice on the top screen right here, on the left side, that's a curtain. And that threw me off for a good 20 minutes first time playing this game. I had all the other clues, I had every other item. But I guess every time I was clicking near the curtain, I was clicking the pot. And that would change the view to looking at the stove with the kettle. And it took me forever to realize that I had to click on the curtain. And then it opens up, and then you get another item. I forget if it's a cipher or if it's one of the keys, but the thing is, I don't remember having that much issue in later rooms. It was sort of like, it was more of an issue with me not being familiar with how the game would structure its rooms, because I'm pretty sure after that I had it ingrained in my head to that just click everything. I wasn't quite conditioned to do that just quite yet. So this room did a really good job. Even though it stumped me, it's okay because it was doing its job and familiarizing me with how I should be thinking in terms of geography and rooms and how to get through puzzles. Because another thing too is that you're really collecting items to get items to get items to solve the puzzle. Because the whole puzzle is actually the door, but you start off by getting papers and keys, and that's really not going to help you with that. So you gotta go along. And this game also does a weird thing where it throws a calculator at you.
I never used the calculator.
If you can do basic mental arithmetic, you won't ever need it. I'll admit I needed it a few times, but that's just because I am terrible. That's the curtain. See? Like, I had no idea. None. It took me forever.
I'll be honest, the first time I played this room, I got stuck for a completely different reason. When I was opening the suitcases and everything, you can see right there the clues that help you decipher what the codes are for the suitcases. Well, during my first time I played the game, I had missed one of the pieces of paper with the blue and red shapes on it, so I had only one to go on, and I had absolutely no idea how to open these freaking cases. And I was thinking this entire time, no, I don't know if there's another one or not. Maybe there is. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. And so literally I had to go on the internet and look up the solution. In the first room of the puzzle, I had to look up the solution. So you can pretty much tell what my skills as a gamer was when I was in high school.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was that with the clue, you really needed to just take the two pieces of paper, regardless of what page it was on, and combine all the blue shapes to get the briefcase with the blue key, and then combine all the red shapes, and that would give you the keys to those two. So you needed both pieces of paper.
Yeah, so. I know I needed both pieces. I know that now. I think I missed
Now that the internet has told you.
Oh, I think it was the one under the pillow that I missed. It was that piece of paper. I should, before we wrap this up, let's quickly talk about, like, the digital route and how it's, implemented into this game.
It's all over the place. Like, they keep using it and make it seem like some sort of magical calculation, but you just, isn't it add digits?
Yeah, you add the digits to, the certain numbers, and then you, like, for example, 1 plus 2 is 3, so the digital root of 1 plus 2 is 3. And in this case right here, because we're opening a number 5 door, we had to use the number 7, 6, and 1 key to open the number 5 door, because 7 plus 6 plus 1 equals 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5.
Alright.
And I think that'll wrap up the first episode. We'll see you soon for more fun times with 999. Later.